Have you ever found yourself having one of those weeks or months in your business where there are just a million things to do, and no matter how hard you work and how fast you try and get through things, somehow it's just a wall of noise, it feels like chaos, and you really don't feel like you're making progress? Today, I'm going to give you 2 really simple tips to make that all better for you. And very often the big thing that's happening here is that you're trying to prioritise everything. You've got this huge list of things to do and everything is urgent. But the obvious thing is, if you're treating every single thing as urgent, then by definition, nothing is actually getting treated as urgent. Nothing is a priority if everything is. So my first tip is to get absolutely clear on what your priorities are. Work through this massive list of things you have to do and get absolutely clear about what it is that's going to move you forwards. There will usually be something that starts momentum or something that gets other things out of the way. But instead of just chasing a million different tasks and activities, you really need to get clear on what are the small number of things that are going to absolutely move you forwards. But then the biggest thing you can do with that is focus on one thing at a time. We're all told these days that we can multitask like a computer, even though a computer can't actually multitask, But the problem with that is all you're doing is shredding your brain. You're giving nothing a clear focus. And what can then happen is you end up with this enormous list of half-done things. But each one of those things is then sitting in here, adding stress, adding pressure, and just making it harder for you to get anything done. Whereas progress comes from getting things finished. So prioritise one thing and do not move on to anything else until that one thing is done. What you'll find is, firstly, you'll find this a difficult way to work because we are drawn so much to this multitasking way and this idea that everything is a priority. With the Instagram generation where it's all about instant now. But that's not actually how businesses run. So really think about my number one activity right now that's going to make progress, and absolutely prioritise that, because as soon as you start drifting to something else, you create this split of focus and the whole confusion in your head. So work on one thing, get it finished, and then move on to the next thing. And what you will find is it's very surprising, but by focusing on less, you will achieve significantly more. And that's the goal at the end of the day, to achieve more and to get more finished. So actually focus on less to get more done. And then my second tip, this is the second one, is also helping clients to stay in their lane. So while you're staying in your lane and only working on one thing, you need to help your clients to do the same. Sometimes it can be really tempting to try to help a client to solve every single challenge that they've got, because you can see how they can improve in all those different ways. But often the problem there is you spread yourself too thin with that client, and you encourage the client, the customer, to be working on and prioritising too many things at a time. So really think about what's the next thing you need to achieve with each client. Do you need to get agreement for the next part of a project? Do you need to get something signed off? Do you need to get the client to take one piece of action? So rather than joining the client in their chaotic thinking, think about the one objective that you want to help that client achieve, and then help them to narrow down their thinking and their focus. And that way the client will work with you and they will continue to work with you, because together you will be achieving solid results. So you're not trying to help them solve every single challenge they've got. You're trying to help them solve the one thing that they have actually brought you into that business to help them to improve. So those are my 2 top tips this week. Be clear on your own priorities, focus on less to achieve more, and help your clients to stay in their lane instead of trying to solve every single problem that they have. If this is something you know you need help with, get in touch with me, Paula at Tailory, and I can help you.